On Sunday night, my kids and I made our way to Madison Square Garden for the Ishai Rabbi concert. Ari was also there. Anyone else was there in the kahal? Some? Okay. I've never been in Madison Garden with that many Jews before, I'll tell you. It was quite an experience. On the one hand, there was an enormous excitement for the concert and the power of some version of togetherness. And on the other hand, there was a profound heaviness as well, a brokenness, a sadness in the air. Rabbi sang amongst many of his songs the song Porchim Leshuvam, a song that was written after October 7th, blooming for their return. The song has kind of an upbeat quality to it, and as people were singing it at the top of their lungs and dancing in their seats, the message of the song kind of penetrated the heart if you were listening to it deeply. That kind of was a little bit in contrast to the experience of what it meant to be in the space at the time. This is the words that the opening of the song. Porchim Leshuvam, Kol hadima'ot ha'ke'ev shebaku me'alev, od yatzmichu odam. Blooming for their return, all the tears of pain that burst from the heart will yet give rise to a world. Fields, orchards of truth, anemone and almond will bloom for their return. All that we endured, we'd made mistakes in turn, but in the end we learned that we are not alone. This week's parasha opens with the commandment of the first fruits, the bikurim, upon entering the land, that we are required to bring as an offering to the priests in the temple, to dedicate essentially the first harvest to God as a sense of gratitude, a sense of commitment. And think about it, if it's described actually in the Mishnah Bikurim, what happens to a farmer who first plants their seeds, of course, and then their plants grow, and then when the fruits or the vegetables come up for the land, the farmer has to say, Hare elu bikurim, let these be the first fruits. And then they gather their first fruits and they take them on a pilgrimage in a basket to the temple in Yerushalayim, the Beit HaMikdash. And they fill that basket with their first fruits and offer it up as their first offering to the priests. The pilgrimage of this year has been a hard one. It feels like we are running on empty baskets. Perhaps all we have planted this year are tears. But the religious being, the faithful being, believes in some way that tears are seeds. That tears are seeds to be planted and harvested to a new reality. One that, if you listen to the song further, Rabbi describes as preserving God's image, one that is filled with blessing and protection, one that is filled with love and honor and truth. Ishai Rabbi's song is a song of faith, just as the psalmist writes in Psalm 126, Hazorim bedima berina yiksoru, those who sow in tears shall reap in joy. We are all farmers, gardeners in one way or another, trying to plant something in this life, something that grows, something that bears fruit, some kind of offering up to God who puts us on this earth to till and to tend and to make something bloom. It may be that we are unsure where we're going, individually or collectively, There are not only many tears, but there is also a deep amount of uncertainty in the world that we are living in. The Svat Emet taught that Moshe knew that one day the first fruits would no longer be brought to the Beit HaMikdash, so he instituted prayer in its place. Prayer is a way of giving the first of what we have to offer up each day. We never know what the harvest will yield, but we can never reap if we don't plant. In this season of Elul, of doing the spiritual work, of seeing the yield of this past year, may we please have the faith to believe that there is something to learn and to build from our tears, that seeds of justice and dignity and love are planted, and that even when we feel we have an empty basket, we can come forward with the prayer, an offering, just like we do on the Shabbat, every Shabbat. And that in this season, we have the faith to believe that the blooming can and will return.